So this is inner thinking.
Yep.
Let's talk about external thinking applied.
Okay.
So this is extroverted thinking now, a different cognitive function. We call it effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about its basic use and then its wise use or its wisdom it can tap into.
So when we use the function, the basic use is organizing tasks and people to achieve efficient and effective outcomes. Right? That's what we're doing. We're organizing things, resources, people to try to get a specific outcome. But the wisdom of the function, what it understands, or what it allows us to tap into. And this is important in the same way that extroverted feeling or harmony can make people salty. There's a lot of people who have issue or problems with extroverted thinking or effectiveness. So the wisdom of it is understanding the value of structure and systems in creating sustainable results, recognizing that order and external organization can support growth and progress. So the wisdom of it is, do you want anything at all ever? Then you're going to have this function. In the same way that it's like, do we want to have good relationships with humans? Do we want to live in a civilization? Do we want to like be, just doing small talk as opposed to worried that our neighbor's going to stab us? Well, then we need extroverted feeling or harmony.
That BS small talk you hate keeps your neighbor from stabbing you.
That's right, and taking your stuff.
It's a good thing. It's a good technology we've developed.
That's right.
Small talk's fantastic.
Do you want to be able to complain about extroverted thinking or effectiveness on the internet? Then you need extroverted thinking or effectiveness so that you have to build the internet and the device that you're using to complain about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about functionality here, like the speed of trust, building trust for harmony. We talked about that's the basis for all human interaction. If I don't trust you, I might not tell you the truth. We may not be able to federate or get together here and do anything at all. We might not have harmony if I don't trust you. If we trust you, we can have harmony. So with effectiveness, we can be effective when things work and they're operational.
Yep.
And they're functional and they're not breaking down all the time. And our bridges, you can drive across them. And this light switch turns on when I flip it and things actually happen around me when I push buttons.
And sustainable.
And it keeps happening.
That's right.
I keep having clean water come out of my tap. Every time I turn on the tap, clean water comes out. Year in and year out.
That's right.
It never stops being clean.
That's right.
So they figured out how to make it happen and they figured out how to keep it happening.
Yep. And how to create a system that stewards it.
Ameliorates it and stewards it.
Yep. And so just like trust is really fundamentally what extroverted feeling or harmony gives us. And that's so important. It's so important. The wisdom of trust is so important. So is the wisdom of sustainability and progress. Right? There's a wisdom to not just allowing ourselves to stagnate.
Both of those, both sustainability and progress are important, right? You can't just have one or the other.
Right.
I think in terms of like in our country here, we have a lot of agencies like institutions that have come up that can create a lot of sustainability, keep things running and going. But I've noticed that there's not a lot of people on the front edge of exploration. Go back to my Elon Musk book again. NASA isn't exploring space in the way they used to.
Yeah.
Private companies are having to do that.
Yep.
Right. So the government has gotten really good at extroverted thinking maintenancing. Well, maybe not perfect at it. Our bridges are falling in certain places, but they're better at the maintenancing part than the figuring it out and building something more part.
Well, but the wisdom of the function includes progress.
Yes.
And so it won't stagnate. So if a system, it's so common for people to be like, I'm not into money, so I can't be using extroverted thinking, right? It's like, I don't know when we started conflating this function with dollar signs, but it's
because it's tied to resource.
Because it's tied to resource, right? And because people who focus on resource have a tendency to be better at collecting it. But it's a correlation doesn't equal causation, right?
Yeah.
It's like the wisdom of the function itself isn't money.
Yeah.
The wisdom of the function is organization, sustainability, and progress. And so if a corporation starts getting quote unquote fat on not having to do much, that's not extroverted thinking or effectiveness wisdom anymore.
You're saying Boeing doesn't have extroverted thinking wisdom?
Right, exactly. It's using it, but it has
lost the wisdom.
It has lost its wisdom.
Because the plane doors are falling off now. So clearly somebody's not doing their job.
That's right.
And no one's managing this sustainably.
That's right. And that's a really great example of what the difference between use and wisdom is.
Yeah.
You know, the company continues to use it, but it's exploiting it at that point. It's not tapping into the wisdom of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.